Welcome to More Than Just Mama, where we're all about taking back your identity and igniting those dreams you've put on hold. Today's episode is one that's close to my heart, and this is identifying the subtle signs of stagnation. Whether you're feeling stuck in your routines or your passions have taken a backseat, I'll help you recognize the signs of stagnation and how to break free. So to start off, we before we start thinking about the signs of stagnation, we have to define what stagnation means, at least in this context. So, stagnation is when you feel like you're no longer growing or progressing. You feel like you're stuck in the same place and can't seem to move. It's a word that we don't use often, but we feel it at one point or another. I remember going through this myself, especially after I became a mom. It was more evident. So for a while, I was just going through the motions of everyday living. Everything felt like a routine, but I was busy. But the thing was, even though I was busy and I was accomplishing everything that I had set myself to accomplish, I didn't feel fulfilled. It was as if life was passing by and I wasn't really living it. I was just checking off all those boxes. Chores done, housework done, shopping done, taking care of baby done, blah, blah, blah done. But I bet that you feel that way sometimes, or you have in the past. Like you're stuck in that same place day after day with little excitement and joy. Or maybe you're just going through the motions every day, or you've lost the excitement for the things that you used to love. If any of this sounds familiar, don't worry, you're not alone. So that's stagnation. Now, the tricky part is that it creeps up on us, it creeps up on you, and sometimes you do not even notice until you've been stagnant for a while. So, how do we identify this? That's the trick question. Now, before we go on to the signs of stagnation, let's talk about the toll that stagnation has on our lives. So, it doesn't just affect our productivity or creativity, it affects us emotionally. It can make us feel restless, unmotivated, even resentful of the things we used to love to do, resentful of our roles, resentful of even some extent our loved ones, resentful of our routine, the things that we do every day. Have you ever felt like you're just tired of everything, but you can't put your finger on why? Now, this is one way that we are affected emotionally by stagnation. And for me, it showed up in the form of boredom and a lack of enthusiasm. I would wake up each morning feeling like there wasn't anything to look forward to that was just for pleasure. Now, don't get me wrong, I love being a wife and a mom, but everything I did just felt like routine. My joy seemed to be muted because it wasn't challenging my creative side and it didn't light up my center. I was just there, just existing. Now, another emotional sign that stagnation kind of rears its ugly head or affects us emotionally is when we start to procrastinate. This is a big one for me, and I am working on it. When I feel like I have conquered it, it rears its ugly head again, and it's something that you have to keep on working on. Anyway, I digress. So we tend to avoid things that we once enjoyed or found fulfilling. So we're talking about procrastination in regards to what gives us pleasure. And the sneaky part is that you might feel super busy because you're doing all these tasks. But deep down, you know you're not doing anything that truly lights you up. Does this sound familiar? You go to bed and you're like, I am so tired because I did this, and this. Oh no, now I have to wake up again tomorrow to do the same thing. And in the back of your head, you're probably thinking that, well, I thought about maybe sitting down and reading a book, this new book that I got, but I'll have to do it later. Or if something you used to do, like for example, knitting, crocheting, even sewing, painting, we always seem to find excuses not to do them because we're putting our stuff to the side. And I think another thing is we don't seem to value not necessarily ourselves, but our creative needs or our needs that have nothing or have no bearing on our loved ones. So now let's break this down into common signs. We're going to look at 4 common signs. And I want you to think about this in your own life as I go through these and see if it resonates with you. So the first one is you may feel restless or anxious, but you can't pinpoint why. And I've I've had this happen every once in a while, um, especially when I feel like I'm not accomplishing my personal goals. So I feel like I'm running out of time, or I feel like um, I'm not taking care of me, and I start to feel like I'm missing something. And it's funny because I didn't realize that it was because of my needs, my personal needs. I would start going through everything that I did and start wondering if I forgot something that pertains to our family or pertains to my son or pertains to my husband or work. Um, and it would never really occur to me that, wait a minute, you're forgetting another person, yourself. Okay, so that's one sign. How about you find yourself stuck in routines and habits that drain your energy? Oh, now if I could say this routine, this task drains my energy, I would say laundry. Oh boy. I I love doing laundry, but I don't like folding laundry. Well, I'm sure some of you are in the same boat, but it doesn't drain my energy. So what kind of routine do we have? What kind of routine do you have that or habit that drains your energy? It may not necessarily take up a lot of time, but you feel like once you've done it, you feel blah. You feel like emotionally drained. It may not even be physically drained. You just feel emotionally drained, like you just want to take a time out. So, in order to identify those, just think about something that you do on a regular basis that you never look forward to, or it's something that you feel like you have to plan everything around, or you have to have time set aside for it. That could be some hints as to what kind of habits and routines actually drain your energy, because those are the ones that you don't want to do or you kind of procrastinate on. Now here's the third one. You keep asking yourself, is this all there is? And this is an interesting one because many times we don't ask ourselves this question until we're almost at our breaking point, or until um, we're so tired of doing the same thing over and over again that we start to question either who we are, what our goals are, or what our life is coming up to or measuring up to. And we start asking ourselves this because we're trying to look for, we know there's something missing, but we're trying to look for that answer and we're not sure how to identify it or even where to look for it. Many times we actually start thinking it's about our actually daily life or our situation or circumstances. We're like, is this all there is? As opposed to realizing that there's something missing, a key component of our life that's missing, and that has to do with ourselves, our joy, our excitement, something that's ours that we can claim and cleave to. Okay, the fourth sign is there's a lack of excitement for activities. It could be for work, hobbies, or even just hanging out, socializing. Now, this was a big one for me because all of a sudden the things that I enjoyed started becoming routine, or the things I was suddenly excited about started feeling like routine, and they lost their, for lack of a better word, they lost their spark, or they lost their allure, I should say. So what things do you do right now that you used to do? You used to look forward to going out and doing, or forward to creating, and when you start thinking about it, you're like, I don't feel like doing that anymore, or I don't feel like going there anymore. That that's a big hint that, oh, you need to start shaking some things up. So, with all these said, it comes down to one main thing: you stop feeling challenged, and that's very significant because when something when we're restless or anxious, we're not being challenged. Now, I'm not talking about, I'm just talking in regards to our personal creative side, okay? And in the area of stagnation and identity. So, when you're restless, is it because you're not being challenged enough? When you're feeling stuck in a routine, or you're blah, and you don't feel like doing something because it doesn't excite you anymore. Or you even start asking yourself, isn't there more? Could I be doing more? Could I be getting more out of this? Is it because what you've been doing has stopped challenging you? Well, you may have settled into a comfort zone. I know I'm guilty of that. And while our comfort zones may sound nice, it's often where stagnation grows and thrives and matures, if I should say that. But over time, because of the lack of challenge, we start to feel unfulfilled. Now, have you been feeling stuck? Like you're just spinning your wheels and going nowhere? Well, as I said, you're not alone. I've gone through it. Many people have gone through it. But if you're having a hard time trying to sort this out, well, I offer a free 30-minute discovery call where we'll take a look at your current situation, identify what's holding you back, explore how my personalized coaching can help. Now, this call is just a chance for us to connect and see if my one-on-one coaching program is right for you. Now, if you're ready to break free from stagnation, book your call through the link in the show notes. I remember when I first noticed I was stagnant. I had gotten so comfortable with my daily grind of being a mom, running errands, working, and managing the house that I completely forgot, well, and being a wife too, that I completely forgot what made me feel alive. I wasn't creating anything, and that was a huge part of who I was before motherhood. It wasn't until I started Chrissy Chris Creations that I realized how much I had let my creative side slip away. So, well, how do we break free from this habit of stagnation? One, of course, we would have to recognize it, but the key is making small, deliberate changes. Sometimes we think a big, sweeping change is necessary. I did. But it's often the little things that make the biggest difference. Start with one small step. Maybe that's rediscovering a hobby that you used to love, like painting or writing. Or maybe it's shaking up your routine and doing something new each week. Even if it's as simple as changing your workout routine or trying a new recipe. Another powerful way to break the cycle is by reflecting on what once brought you joy. Ask yourself, what did I love doing before life got so busy? Is there something I've been wanting to try but keep putting off? Let that curiosity guide you. Just like I was putting off making sourdough bread starter, and I did it. Yeah, it's still going. It's like looking really good, and I'm very excited for each and every little change that I'm seeing in the starter. Have I used it yet? Not yet, because I don't think it's ready, but I'm just excited about the process. So I want you guys to start that process, even if it's one little step, and start getting excited for each little part of your process. So, here's some action steps I want you to take this week. 1. Take 10 to 15 minutes to reflect on areas of your life where you feel stuck and write down at least 3 of these. Just write them down. Just sit, reflect, and write. Number 2, pick one of these areas, at least one of these areas, and brainstorm one small action you can take to break out of your routine. If you want to do all 3, go ahead, but I want you to at least do this for one of your areas. Number 3, I want you to implement that action this week, no matter how small. I want you to implement it. So, for example, if you feel stuck creatively, try dedicating just 30 minutes to do a creative activity you enjoy, like drawing, crafting, baking, whatever sparks your joy. And it doesn't even have to be a full 30 minutes in one sitting. If you're so busy, you can always break it down for a week. Even if it's just 5 days, break it down, 6 minutes each day. So, thanks for joining me today. And I do hope that this episode has got you thinking about your life and whether you can identify as your current life, being stagnant or not. And I do hope that if you do identify with any of these signs, that you would just take a moment to start some action to break away from stagnation. Well, thanks for joining me today. And as we tackle the signs of stagnation, if you feel stuck, I encourage you to take that small step towards breaking free. You got this. Now, if you do need a helping hand, just remember that I offer free discovery calls, and this is a perfect opportunity to start getting unstuck. And if after a call it feels like the right fit, we can dive even deeper through with my one-to-one coaching program, where I'll guide you step by step to reignite your dreams and move forward. So don't wait. Check the show notes to schedule your call. If you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend who might need to hear this today. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.